Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ricardo Norma. I'm CEO of FCJ Europe. It's a pleasure to be here again. We have been doing so many events in the last month, and today we have the pleasure to start the launch of FCJ Finland. Okay, so the idea is to have 1 hour presentation. Basically, we have an agenda here. Please just say if you can put the slide on the screen, please. The presentation. And basically we have an agenda that we have an intro that, next slide, just please. We will have an intro, so we'll introduce you to Justino, the founder of FCJ. And then I have a quick presentation regarding FCJ Europe. And then I introduce you Artur and Lotta, and both of them will do some presentations. And at the end, we have 20 minutes Q&A. So feel free to send your questions in your stream. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube or Facebook. So feel free to send your questions, okay? So let's start. First, I'd like to introduce Justino. Please, Justino, just a few words for us. Introduce yourself.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Norma. Hello, my name is Justino. I am the CEO of FCJ Venture Builder. I have 35 years of experience in information technology. During my career, I was CIO and commercial director in many technology companies. I launched the first venture builder model in Brazil in 2013. I was one of the founders of FCJ. We started the company in 2013 with the 19 investors. Today, we are more than 200 investors in 18 venture builders. We have become the biggest venture builder network of Latin America and one of the biggest of the world. FCJ was created with the purpose to bring together companies, angel investors, and startups, being one alternative to corporates in a model external and open innovation. It's my pleasure to here launching FCJ Finland. We intend to connect Finland startups and investors to Brazil. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo.
Okay, thank you, Justino. So now I'd like to invite you, Artur, to introduce yourself, please.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for everybody wherever you are watching this presentation. And so my name is Artur. I'm Finnish. Have graduated from Aalto University in Helsinki, and I have a wide experience of different fields: marine industry, engineering industry, nuclear power plants, and so on. Also have been managing director of Finnish in Brazil and in Finland of international companies. And now I'm an entrepreneur with energy, LNG gas, Amazon projects, solar in Brazil and Africa, and also now bringing together with the local team, FCJ, to Finland. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Artur. And now, please, Lotta, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lotta. I'm the CMO of FCJ Finland, and I will be the link of the startup villages and investors here in Finland. I have strong international background. I have studied in Spain, lived many years in Brazil, and hopefully I will be able to bring some extra value for this new business that we have now here in Finland. And actually, this is something that we don't have in Finland, Venture Builder. This is something new, so it will be really interesting to introduce this concept, these opportunities for the Finnish companies, startups, for the government, and for the investors.
Okay, thank you, Lotta. So let's move on. So I have spent 10 minutes explain a little regarding FCJ Europe. So please just next slide. So basically, who we are here. FCJ starts in Brazil, as Justino mentioned. It started 2013, and spent like 5 years brushing up the model and the understanding of the venture builder concept in Brazil. So after that, they start to increase the models across Brazil. And nowadays, we have a huge structure in Brazil and Latin America. At the same time, we start some movements, as you can see on the slide. We start an investment arm, and now we start the Network International, our expansion to Europe, Finland as our first move here in Europe. And we already starting in America as well. Okay, next, Giuseppe, please. So basically what we do specifically venture builders and corporate venture builders, especially in Brazil. So have a lot of experience in Brazil for the last 7 years. And basically when we start the international movement, we decide to get into Europe, basically with the corporate venture builder model, okay? So we are only be focused 100% of our time in corporate venturing, okay? That would allow the companies and corporates to engage with startups. We have a different model that I'll explain a little further. So basically that's what we do, okay? Next, Jose. So according to the FCJ team, so nowadays we have what we call our global advisory board. So we have Justino as the founder, we have Hans, George, Tim, Augusto, and Milton. So some of them are from Germany, Portugal, China, United States, and Japan, okay? And basically in FCJ Europe, we have an advisory board. That's me as a CEO. We have Henrique from Portugal and Luis from Portugal as well, a specialist in technology here. And Henrique is more focused on more the economic side, okay? The FCJ network, specifically in Latin America, we have 18 venture builders nowadays. We have more than 200 investors, almost 200 entrepreneurs, executives, 62 startups, and our team nowadays is something like 150. And we are increasing this number day by day as we have a lot of efforts, specifically in Latin America and now in Europe, to expand our network and our corporate and venture builders around the world. Okay, next, Giuseppe, please. So that's the quick roadmap that we're looking for international expansion. It's interesting to mention that when FCJ decides to go abroad, they did a partnership with a company named Top Capital, where one of the founders are on the board in our exclusive board here in Europe. So basically Top Capital and FCJ are doing this expansion globally. The first move is operational is in Europe, and then nowadays we close the United States as well. So they are already dealing with potential geographies from China, Australia, and Middle East, okay? So the idea is to expand our model around the world. Next. So what we're bringing to Europe, I'm sorry for the small point in the slide, but basically what we're bringing to Europe is the corporate venture structure. Basically, when you talk about corporate venturing, specific for open innovation, you know that companies already have their internal R&D efforts, and basically what we're looking for to work when the companies try to bring external knowledge and skills. So basically, when I say about corporate venture, we have a bunch of mechanisms that can be used. And basically for FCJ Europe, we are bringing something that is a mix of the venture builder and the corporate venture builder and the corporate venture capital. So our idea is not to bring the same model that we are seeing here in Europe for a long time. And you explain a little in the next slides. Next, Jesse. So how we do that? Basically, when you start a corporate venture builder, we start a new entity. So we start a new company when you have 3 parts in this company. The corporation, that's usually our client, okay? We have FCJ Europe as a partner, and we usually bring external investors to be part of this corporate venture builder. So the idea is to bring a model that we have from 2 stakeholders, shareholders in this case, the same alignment to bring the best startups to work with the corporation. But basically, as we're bringing external investors, we have something that could validate their startups in a very nice way. And our mindset is for looking for a relationship, for a long-term relationship. So basically, we are partner, we are risk takers in this movement. So when you do that, we think that we align all the interests from the corporation, from us as a FCJ Europe or FCJ Finland in this case, and with external investors. So that's the basic model we are bringing to Europe. Next. So before we start a process with a corporation, basically we have 4 specific phases. I won't get in details of each one, it's just an overview. So basically we have to do with the corporate to try to understand what are the best objectives for the company when you bring our solution or our model that mix the corporate venture and the corporate venture builder in the same way. So basically we know that specifically in Europe and specifically in Finland, we have a lot of companies that have this open innovation force in the market. So basically the idea is to try to understand where our solution or our model can make a lot of sense for them. So the idea is to bring external skills inside the corporate. And then when we determine this kind of points, we can start the process of the CVB, the corporate venture builder. Okay, so then we go to the investment thesis. So basically for each one, we do this in 4 hands with the corporation, dealing and building the investment thesis for this CVB. Okay, and next phase, when we finish that, we go to the market and support the corporation to raise this money from external investors. Usually use the corporate networking to bring external investors. And one point it's very interesting that sometimes we bring employees or C-level or directors from the corporate to invest as well in the model, okay? And the last phase, when we start the process, so that's a methodology that we developed in the last 7 years. We have a very well methodology for this way to make the portfolio selection and the management of the corporate venture building, okay? So basically, we work in 4 phases, and depends on each company. We have specific knowledge for them. In Brazil, an example, we have experience in agribusiness, we have experiences in retail, we have experience in pharmaceuticals, in pharma companies. So that's some expertise we can bring as well from Brazil and maybe from our expertise in the past to bring to Europe. Okay, next, Jesse. So basically, why we are different. The other venture builders and the other corporate venture builders that we are seeing around the world basically focus on a model that they work as a service provider. And in our mind, we would like to align our risk with the corporate. So basically, we do a mix of a corporate venture builder and a corporate venture capital. And more than that, the most important point for us regarding the model that thinking the corporate as our client, the idea is to bring innovation, external skills and knowledge that they don't have internally, okay? But more than that, we'd like to bring the startup mindset inside the corporations. That's a very important aspect nowadays. My experience as a former VC in the last 15 years shows me that a lot of corporations can deal correctly with startup ecosystems. So idea when we have the FCJ inside Untitled that we are shareholders, basically our homework is to bring the best word from startups inside the corporation. At the same way, we bring the best word from corporations to startups to make this mix a very successful relationship for both sides. Okay, next. So it's a very quick presentation. I'm sure that if you have questions, feel free to ask, okay? I try to explain as much as possible. And then I would like to move on and go back to agenda. So now I'd like to invite Arthur to make his presentation, okay? So, Jesse, se você colocar a apresentação do Arthur, por favor. So Arthur, feel free to make a presentation. Jesse is putting this in a few minutes, so feel free.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I will speak a little bit about Finland and business environment here in Finland, and of course this what we are looking here in Finland or for FCG is that international investors, companies, people who like to start doing this startup business here in Finland, but also for Finnish people, companies, and so on. So that's why I'm telling a little bit about Finland, the environment, which obviously is well known for us, for Finnish people, but it gives you a good understanding of the idea or glimpse of Finland, and then later we are going on as we are starting these activities in Finland. So then later we'll go for these activities and what we are going to do here. But now it's we are in the starting phase. So next slide, please. The Finnish environment, business environment, is for startup, especially for startups, is very good, and Finland has a lot to provide and give. For expertise, there are a lot of startups here, a lot of people working there. So the society, government, companies, and so on. So they know pretty well the startups, and also here I would like to say the education is part of the expertise, as Finland is well known for the education and the good education, and has been very well ranked in PISA comparisons, and so the education gives good workers or good recruitment possibilities, and also that we are able to use all of our brains as Finns, as we are a small country, only about 5.5 million people, but so it's important to be able to use all brains, not only some of those. So that's very important. As I said, Finland is a small country in population, but regardless of that, there are quite many different accelerators and different kind of also some incubators, but accelerators in Finland. So that's also gives a good possibility to a good environment to start business and for startups. Also, different kind of subsidies or support from government and local organizations. There are a lot of these possibilities to support. Not only something like grants or pure money, but different kind of other loans, other kind of support which these accelerators or incubators are not giving. So different kind of lot of support from society. Also for the co-working facilities, they are you can easily find those all around Finland. Of course, in the cities mainly, and the bigger places. But that's one important thing to have, and also the well-working society in general, as also being a startup entrepreneur, and I'm a participant. I'm shareholder for Finnish startups, and so I know pretty well that when the society is working well, it's less troubles, less and one headache less, as there in the life of startups. There's a lot of challenges already, and if the society is not helping you very much, so that makes another extra difficult. Then the cooperation between companies and universities is typically quite easy, at least on my own experience own experience about that. And I think in that sense it's important to have in the research and development, the recruitment and getting new graduates from universities and educational institutes. So it's important to have these so it's a kind of smooth transition from university to companies. And like for myself, which is very typical case, I made my master's thesis at the shipyard, so and then continued working there. So it was a smooth transition to work and career. Also, there are for startups, for companies in the early phase, there are quite many investors and of course the investors, especially for the early phase things, but for the large things, so then you need to go to build up the financing investors from abroad, something in Finland. But for the early phase, the investors they are quite well. Next slide, please. And as a business environment in general, Finland has been ranked in many international comparisons among the leaders in different things. I think there are so many different comparisons that it's sometimes difficult to follow, but in many cases have been among the leaders and for business environment point of view, this Finland offers unique things or good things, a good combination of different things. Like one is stability. The Finnish society is a calm and typically easygoing society, so that helps you to concentrate on your own business, own things, and don't have to worry so much about the stability or the society things. So I think that's a very good thing. Then also continuity is one thing that is pretty is good here. So you can expect that the changes are small and gradual. So on the daily basis, so you can say that on a daily basis you can know pretty well how tomorrow will be. So, but on the long run, there are big changes, big changes, but on the daily basis, they are small. So then it's much easier to plan and develop your business background, business here in Finland, the operations and so on. Also, also the predictability. It's a bit like the continuity, but predictability is also pretty good here in Finland. As then you can quite easily see what's coming and how things are going. Of course, this present situation globally due to the pandemic is a bit different, and everybody is kind of in the fog. But in general, I think the situation has been handled quite well here in Finland, and though there's, like everywhere, there are some claims, some things could be done better, but I think in general it's quite quite well done this. And also the transparency. The transparency is, or you could say that there's a little corruption in Finland, and it has been also ranked in one of the less corrupted in that sense, and also open society. So I think in corruption, so you can trust what people are saying, and in that sense that you don't have to think about if somebody is paying something or so on. So sorry. So then it's good environment for the transparency. Yeah. So next slide, please. And the business in general, Finland, more than 1/3 of the gross domestic product comes from international trade, together with exports. So that shows that it's very important for Finland, and it comes typically from the traditional industries like wood, metal, engineering, telecommunication, and electronic. But so you can understand that Finland is heavily dependent on these industries, but at the same time it's in the leading edge in many high-tech sectors, and I think that's actually very cool that there's a lot both things that so then both sides can benefit the other high-tech sector from the traditional industries and vice versa, and also I'm very fond of the idea that the new things, new ideas, innovations, they are coming in the interfaces of different things, and at least such things that are not very easy to invent or not that so obvious. So I think it's when you mixed high-tech sectors together with traditional things, so then there's a lot of opportunities and possibilities. I think in this area Finland hasn't used the full capacity or the potential. So or actually I think there's quite a lot potential in this, and I think that's one thing that should be seen better. These new interfaces, new ecosystems, new things, how to combine in a new way. Also, here in Finland, has been lately, like always, but now I think now even more during this COVID-19 time, that how and where Finland could be the kind of one of the leaders in the world, or I mean that in the group of having good, excellent technologies or in the fields, and I think these, for example, the quantum technology, biotechnical food, or chemical recycling of plastics, and material optimization, as well as energy sector. They are some areas that Finland has pretty much to provide and to do more and be one of the main countries in some of these areas, at least with others. And here below I have put like kind of keywords or trends or something like that. So the areas that I think both the traditional industries and the high-tech sectors are looking and doing things, and I think there's a lot of lot of good development, lot of good things have been already done, and a lot of good things happening in these areas like bioeconomy or the circular economy cases, and it's not only kind of recycling of things, but like large things and kind of very large systems and ecosystems in this. And for example, this World Circular Economy Forum was kind of, I don't know if it's invented, but started and initiated here in Finland here in Finland, and now I think it's basically going this once a year, having this kind of a big seminar, and I know that now recently also Finland or Sitra, the Finnish organization, was speaking about this in Brazil. Clean tech is one area where all these international traditional companies are looking at the high-tech sector, and so I think that's maybe one of the main areas for the traditional sector that they are looking to develop things. Health and well-being, of course, are important, and now the pandemic has become more important, and digitalization, not the least, or not the last, but anyway, there's a lot of good things there happening, and I would say that the game industry is one of those things that it's in part of the digitalization. So that's my part, and now Lotta will speak more about the startup situations and scene in Finland. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Arthur. We appreciate for the information you bring. So Lotta, I invite you to make your presentation right now. Thank you. Lotta?
Hello. Hi. Greetings from Helsinki, from our lavender basement. I was thinking about the presentation Arto gave, and not to repeat, maybe I could give some points that I think that make Finland one of the best startup countries in the world. Finland is a country that we don't have really strong natural resources. Okay, we have forestry, forest is our green gold, but we have been country after the war that we have had to create this country from zero, and that happened through education. So it was the start for intellectual work that nowadays the startup villages here continue. Nokia, in its success but also in failure, showed that this small country can do many marvelous things. And after the Nokia generation, I think people felt it like really like closely that we can create, and we can shine. And then we had these game companies, for example, Supercell and Rovio, that also started this game industry. So we had our cell phones, Nokia had the map services, we had games, and that really gave a boost for our enthusiasm and also courage to do things. And like Arto mentioned about our society, we have really strong public and private support in startup companies. The government of Finland also gives support for international companies to enter in the market. If you have started from Brazil and you want to do something in Finland, you will get like concretical help, how to get your ID, how does tax system work, from like basic things, how to create a business, where to find partners, and also the fundings from the government to pilot, to have prototypes. Or if you don't have any knowledge in your team that you need they give you money to buy that help. And nowadays, me as an entrepreneurial mind and person, me and my colleagues, we do a lot of like cross-cultural businesses as well, that we can have these strong startup villages, hubs, where we have under the same roof, we have food tech companies, we have circular economy companies, and we all work together. So the change of like know-how is really strong. And our society guarantees that I can try, I can be entrepreneur, I can create, and if something happens, I have the support of the state. So this is something really different. In Finland, having a business, starting a startup can be your passion. You don't need a business to survive. So also the creativity, it's really different that in any other countries. This Maria one is a good example of a huge startup scheme in Finland, and also there is one big called Kiuas, who like collect in the same place startup companies, investors. There are a lot of like courses. You get tools, and it's all free. So it's amazing when you think that you get so much support if you have a good idea and you show that in the right place for the right people. And also about venture builder and all of these services and what we can do. For example, in Finland now, we have one of the biggest paper industry companies. Stora Enso also operates in Latin America. They invested a lot of money in a really small startup in Finland, where two ladies started to create bio packaging for cosmetics, because it's nothing new to have like bio packaging for food, like we like takeaway cups. There's nothing like extraordinary, but to have for cosmetics packaging. So paper industry companies who are also afraid of their image, but also they want to do their part in the society, in the world, are investing in small companies to create new products, new services. So this is really interesting, and also something that we are looking for to do here in Finland. Like Arto said, the opportunities are really good, even if we have this pandemic situation, COVID, but it doesn't have had that much effect in Finnish technology companies and startups. So we are really happy of that and looking forward to see what we can do here. But when I think Finland as a startups, I think it's the state of mind. Like I mentioned, that we have the permission to try, and many times we succeed, but there are times that maybe we need help. We are also able to get it. So that's really, I'm really proud of this country, and it will be amazing to start working together. And also in Finland, there are a lot of there's a need for foreign startups, and our situation in the society, like for employees, for like good professionals. So it's nice that all companies are welcome, and no need to be Finnish ones. So some ideas about that. Like the sectors that we have now really strong, for example, this food tech, the international concern of food waste and how to also reduce water and other natural resources. So that is really common nowadays, circular economy in clothing business, in materials. I think maybe like the three most important things are social responsibility in Finland, ecological matters, and visibility. and also the companies that are now acting in the startup field are like really responsible companies that the motivation is not only to do something huge and to create a unicorn, but to make a good impact. So also when we start to work with startups, that's important in our portfolio to have the values, because having wanting to create long-term partnerships and clients, partners. So that's something that we need to remember, the values and this Nordic society. That's really important. Arto, do you have something that you would like to add about startups?
I think you said well, told well about the situation. So the how the situation the possibilities or the startups and so it's there's a lot of things happening here, and the lot of possibilities in that sense, and also I think it's more that your each company startups or the imagination is the limit to find out what could be done. So you have the kind of secure position that the society is supporting you in these things. Yes. And also one thing that I can see pretty well that like earlier when I made my master thesis, so then it's a small company. It was for a big company. It was kind of nothing. But now big global companies are willing to discuss with companies with 1 or 2 persons. So it's interested to hear about what could be done, and so I by those means I think it's easy, and like in Finland it's pretty easy to get in contact with the new people and new persons. And having the trust as like in many other countries it's contrary, but here it's the trust is like a basic setup.
Okay.
For example, these startup success stories, this is something like examples that we can share in our Instagram. So you guys there, you're welcome to follow us also on LinkedIn and Instagram, so we can give some examples about the companies and what they are doing, and also for you to explore these startup villages and to get to know the ecosystem. And always when you have some questions, for example, on LinkedIn or Instagram, you're always welcome to contact us directly. Or if you have seen something that you have interest and you would like to know more. So that's why Arto and we are here. So we bring the things closer to you.
Okay. I'd like to thank you both. My suggestion is we are open for questions. If someone else would like to send us some questions, feel free. To have more 15 minutes, but I'd like to start asking you both that for sure I'm not expert in Finland. I'd like to, but something that caught my attention that because we have a very, very strong event in Finland that is Lush, and I especially like the quote they already use, that not the Californian sun, but the honest is Lush. So besides the fact that you're not, maybe for some people, the more warm place in the world, we know that a ton of people in startup ecosystem, investors and corporates are going to Slush more and more. As I'm based in Portugal, we have Web Summit right here. That's a huge event. But I know a lot of investors are moving from Web Summit to Slush to try to think more. Slush for me looks like more a very, very startup. We have a lot of nice brains inside the same place. So I'd like to ask you, because as Portugal, as Israel, as Finland, We are small places. We have less than 10 million people. So usually most of the companies born looking abroad. So I'm supposing that's the same mindset in Finland in the startup ecosystem. So I'd like to ask you regarding that, specific for, because both of you have some or had some relationship with Brazil. How do you feel? How do your opinion regarding the startup ecosystem in Finland could be benefit from relationships from Latin America, from United States, or from the rest of Europe? How can you feel that startups are going abroad from Finland and the mindset of the entrepreneurs? It's real. That's what happened nowadays. What's your feeling and opinion?
Maybe I could tell my opinion. Like, I have lived many years in Brazil, and sometimes I feel that I'm more Brazilian than Finn. Like the support system from the government and the funding is like it's so focused on the like prototypes and the technology part and pilots, and our government, our education or workshops, they don't teach us how to sell. So this is something really interesting, and I think is the biggest problem in Finland in our like international trade, that the companies, even if they have a lot of skills and awesome products, but to take that from their courage, like, and go and bring to the world, that is like really challenging. But I think nowadays also our culture has a little bit changed with the international people, immigration as well. So people have started the value and this, how we could say, like American side of business and selling, because your innovations, they don't have any value if you're not able to present that to foreigners and to abroad. So also these startup villages and ecosystem is really willing to receive people and also to take the services and products and export, because it's the only way to earn money.
Okay, nice. Any comments, Artur, from your point of view?
Yeah, I completely agree with Lotta, and it's like that. So these startups, yeah, from the very beginning looking for the international markets, and so Finnish market itself is small. So then and this typically the industry, the traditional industry has been such that there's also, it's global market. They are always looking for the global market. So that's but that's true that as Lotta said, that the sales skills of Finns, it's that's the thing that should be better, and also the we are in some cases trying to make perfect. So then but not selling early enough. So that's I think with other, so could be Brazilians or from Latin America or wherever. So that's important that the mixing of different people and by those means you have a good possibilities or opportunities to make a good business. But that's basically what I have. So I agree.
Okay. Okay, I got it. As you don't have questions yet, I just another question from point of view. I know personally that specifically in Finland, you have the biggest companies from Nokia to Stora Enso. Most of them, besides Nokia, are more focused on oil and gas, pulp and paper. How do you feel that these companies are looking for innovation in Finland, or what's your feeling or experience maybe regarding this kind of companies that are very traditional markets like electricity, pulp and paper? How they are looking for innovation, how they are reinvent themselves. I know that in Finland specifically, we have a very strong on environmental sustainability specifically. So, and recycle and whatever. How these companies are looking for innovation or corporate innovation, in your opinion? Feel free, both of you. Okay.
Yeah, what I have seen, as I said before, that nowadays the attitude of big companies. It's much better. I think it's good for looking for new ideas, new things, and also to have kind of startup mentality in some cases, in some parts. So I think there's, and also trying this innovating of different things, and then like the big companies, they have organized their own hackathon or whatever, this kind of thing. So I think they are actively looking around this, and then the startups, I think it's good. They are more flexible, more easy, more agile as a big company. So that's what I think it's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments, Lotta? We can listen to you, Lotta. We are not listening to you. Maybe the connection. No. Okay, I try to go further if we came back. Okay. So I'd like to bring a question from Hans Stickel from Germany. Okay, specifically to Art and Lotta. If you can put on the screen, Joseph, please, the first question from Hans. I will read right here. Yes, that's it. Oh, the first one. Yes. Take a little more. I go further. Okay, Hans. What exactly are your benefits regarding FCJ Finland in a nutshell to the market? So is this in the same line? I have Lotta. Now you can hear you.
Yes. Okay. Now
you can hear. Okay, thank you. We are putting here on the screen the first question from Hans. Okay, for both of you. Basically, I think in the same way we're discussing right now, but feel free to answer regarding the FCJ Finland and nutshell to the market or the benefits.
Yeah, I think as Lotta said also that in Finland there's not really this venture builders or corporate venture builders. It doesn't really exist. So I think that
Arthur, I think now we lost Arthur.
Approach is very good here, and I think there's a lot of opportunities in this. So I think that's the main thing that FCJ is bringing, and the kind of startup factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, like in these models that we are able to use, I think it's like also for the startups, and it's a different motivation also that this our model brings. So everything in the world nowadays is so fast, it happens. We have a lot of projects, but to be engaged and to see the goals and that's able to achieve, I think this is something interesting and like we haven't had in Finland.
Okay. Just if you can put the second question from Hans, but it's just a compliment because in two questions. But basically, they are asking the same question, but it's the same question regarding the enterprise and the startup. I think that you answered both. So I think we can go further here. And
okay.
My question is, what I'm understanding that in Finland we have a very specific how can I say, background environment for startups and corporates, and maybe you have some gaps. That's why I understand. You have some gaps between these relationships. So that's not so common to have venture builders or corporate venture builders in Finland. So what you're saying that basically we have an opportunity to close these gaps with solutions like we have in FCJ. That's right?
Yes.
Okay. No, nice. So let me see. If I have another question right here. Hans is still asking if you have an elevator pitch. You have this soon. Okay. We started out our movement right here in Finland as in Europe. So we have this soon. Okay. I think that we are finished right here. We have 5 minutes. And basically we have a lot of congrats and someone that, okay, it's not a question from Simon. Simon, thank you for participating. And just one important point that it's very important. If anyone have any questions, please feel free to contact us. If you are in Finland, when you get into the fcjventurebuilder.com page, you get into direct into FCJ Finland. If you have any questions, if you are outside Finland and have any questions in Europe, when you get into the page, you go to FCJ Europe, so we can answer any questions when possible. So feel free to reach us. And I just would like for you in this five minutes, if Lotte and Arthur, if you'd like to have some final thoughts or some comments, final comments, please feel free.
For like we mentioned about the Finnish companies and mentality, and maybe the problems or the challenges of selling, we want to be a difference in this case, and also to bring new vibration in the startup companies and the atmosphere. So if you have something that you would like to know, or you have some specific questions, or you have a sector that you want more information, you can always contact us. I can pass here later on my cell phone number, and so to bring to create a good partnerships, to be fast, to be smart. What else, Arto?
Okay, thank you a lot, Arthur.
Yeah, so as we are now starting the activities of FCJ Finland, so we are going to be much more visible and starting to get in contact in companies and different parties to build up the things here. So we are going to be active in this, and as Lotta said, so everyone can get in touch with us at any time, and also different kind of proposals, ideas, thoughts. So we are willing to hear whatever there could be. So and also regarding Brazilian things, as we have a strong connection there. So or these other things. So we are open to discuss more at any time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I think we are finished right here. We have 2 minutes. So I'd like to thank you both. It was a pleasure to be with you right here. It will be a pleasure to deal with you in the next years. So in our operation in Finland. So thank you so much, Lotta. Thank you so much, Arthur. I really appreciate your time and attention here. So we talk and see you later. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for your presence right here. It's a pleasure to hear. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.